Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast. I don't think there's anything in the notebook, but we'll double check it. I do have some stuff pulled up in random browser windows that's related. I don't know if it's still current, but we'll take a look and we'll go from there. The tablet is still in a boot loop. I saw there was an update for X and was hoping that was going to get us back out of the boot loop, but it rebooted before the update could finish applying. So um, either it's bad or it's something on the Samsung side. So I'll have to look into that further. Let's see. Good evening to Anders in Stockholm, Sweden. Good to see you. And pull up that notebook. Let's see. I don't have anything for the 12th of October. And we did get through everything on the 5th of October, as I was informed by Cake that it was too long of a show. All right, so let's bring up an extra browser window. Do I need to bring up an extra one? I don't need to do that. What I do need to do is move this over to another tab. Let's do that. Switch tab to, move tab to, I don't know what the one's called. Starts with an O. Yeah, it's probably that one. Yeah, lucky guess. Okay, so now we're going to share screen. Screen, sorry, share screen. And let's see, screen. We wait for it to ask us what screen we want to share. They're all red. Why are they red? What does this mean? They didn't used to be red. What an odd color scheme. Are any of them not red? No, none of them are not red, except for the one I just clicked on. So we will hit share. It'll pop that one to the front, and then I will adjust us to this. There we go. Okay. That worked. Now, what we got here? We're going to talk about the battery boom. 5.6 gigawatts of U.S. energy storage added in Q2. So gigawatts of power output, because if they meant gigawatt hours of energy storage added, then they wrote the headline wrong. Why is this thing in searing white? It should be, there we go, in dark mode. Let's see, the battery storage market had just had its biggest quarter ever at Q2 2025. A record 5.6 gigawatts of new capacity came online. I still think that should say gigawatt hours, but the picture is tiny. The picture is in megawatt hours, so I assume they meant 5.2 gigawatt hours, but I'm cautious to second guess when a publication that should know better writes it this way, because sometimes they are talking about the amount of instantaneous power that the batteries can do. Let's see. Most of that growth in Q2 came from utility scale projects that added 4.9 gigawatts. Again, probably gigawatt hours. Enough to power 3.7 million homes during peak demand. As electricity, well, peak demand would not be in, well, it could be in hours, but peak demand would be in instantaneous power typically, which 4.9 gigawatts would be the correct unit for that. It's always nice when they give you supporting text to let you know that they are using the correct units. Haven't done that yet. This is as close as it comes. Texas, California, and Arizona each added more than 1 gigawatt of new capacity. The Southwest Power Pool, which hadn't seen new battery storage projects in 3 years, saw a comeback with 3 installations in Oklahoma. Meanwhile, Florida and Georgia are now forecast to deploy more storage than expected after major new procurements by utilities. Trying trying to get in before that tax credit ran out. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't sample to make sure that we were actually coming in clear over there. Let's do that real quick. You're gonna hear an echo probably. All right, sounds clear enough. Um, there we go. There we go. Home batteries are booming. The residential energy battery storage market has also surged, adding 608 megawatts in Q2, up 132% year over year and 8% from Q1. California, Arizona, and Illinois led this growth as more homeowners paired batteries with rooftop solar and adopted higher capacity systems. This one makes sense on two levels. You've got the net metering 3 NEM3, and then you've got or 3 plus, whichever, and then you've got the end of the tax credits. So this one was inevitable. The CCI market grows slowly. The community, commercial, and industrial segment saw a smaller 38 megawatt increase, up 11% year over year. California and New York made up 70% of Q2's CCI. It's probably a good idea for New York. They're about due for another major regional outage. Last one we had was around Hurricane Sandy. They don't happen often, but it doesn't hurt to be prepared. Resilient growth, but headwinds ahead. ACP, Wood, and Mac forecasts 87.8 gigawatts of U.S. storage by 2029, with residential and utility scale projects in the lead. But growth could dip 10% in 2027 as new federal rules take effect on where battery cells can be sourced. I think that's a kind of a inaccurate statement. They're not banning cells from anywhere else. They're just making them more expensive. So if we can't get enough, it will be cost effective to buy them from somewhere else. If we've used everything we've got locally. Pricing and FEOC, foreign entities of concern, uncertainty, and slow community storage development are expected to limit CCI growth by below 1 gigawatt by 2029. I think you might be surprised. Even with an administration that doesn't believe in anything that's good for saving energy. They're really big into on-demand fossil energy. We discussed a couple weeks ago fossil hydrogen. There was a large cache of hydrogen found stuffed in the Earth's crust, but there's nothing regenerating it, so it's fossil hydrogen because it's been there for a minute. Let's see. That's good news. Let's see what the conversation looks like. It'd be more interesting to see how much storage was added in gigawatt hours rather than gigawatts. Yes, I agree. If batteries can only support peak load for half an hour, that wouldn't be very useful. It would be helpful, but like you said, it would not. It would change how you look at everything. Hopefully, those batteries are scaled to provide 4 gigawatt hours for every gigawatt. That will get us through from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. peak to peak hours. Fair. Depends on what they are used for. Outages only last for less than an hour, so it could certainly be useful. Define which outages. Excuse me. Although most of the outages here, the majority of them are like 30 seconds or less, but they're frequent. And then there are the ones that last for about an hour or 4. And then there's the natural disasters typically that cause the ones that go for days and weeks at a time. bagel with eggs and bacon and cheese. This guy says, good point. Just want to add that grid scale storage can only help with power outages if they're on the consumer side of the outage. Exactly. For example, if the battery is downstream of a blown transformer, I'm not sure how often they would be intended for this purpose. You know, it's like you could have a community storage that's on the other side of the community's transformer, and that would give them more time to deal with whatever's going on. Or you could have something in your house, like a Powerwall, Enphase, uh, any electric truck. Yeah, that would do the trick. I say any properly equipped electric truck and house. Mm-mm. I just had Main Solar Solutions add 3 more Simplify LFP batteries to the 3 that I already had, making 6 for a total of 28 kilowatts of storage, kilowatt hours of storage. Plenty for my small consumption habits. Yeah, we've got about standby. That seems low. 19.8. It should be like 20 something. So I did the math wrong, obviously. There we go. 22.2 kilowatt hours. Of course, with degradation, it could be down that way anyway, right now, anyway, to the 19. Steve agrees. So apparently everybody was like, which are you referring to here? Are you referring to the storage capacity or the instantaneous output? It was not clear from the article. So C says, please start using gigawatt hours metrics for storage and gigawatts for instantaneous runtime capabilities. This is a problem across the entire journalism ecosystem. Except that this publication, being a green energy electric publication, shouldn't make those mistakes. Even if they are using other people's stuff, they can do the conversion themselves, or they can specify upfront that they're using instantaneous power output for X reasons, like, hey, this is the way it came in. GM Hydrogen reports that. All right, now let's put this to bed. Just a couple headlines caught my eye, so let's look at them. So the title is GM Hydrogen. The reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. Now, I'm assuming they're talking about the division because at the moment, hydrogen, as we've discussed many times, hydrogen has very limited use cases that it will actually be any good. So I think they're talking about the division based on this opening here. GM has scrapped plans to build $55 million hydrogen fuel cell factory in Detroit, triggering a tsunami of headlines about the general's future plans for hydrogen. In reality, GM isn't scaling back its hydrogen efforts. It's thinking bigger. Great way to waste some money, GM, unless you've got some physics defying new materials to make the thing math out. Although we were just talking about administrations, um, the legacy energy industry, they love hydrogen because it keeps everything the same. You're still pushing a liquid or gas through pipes. You still have to go to a place to fill up, and it's not efficient, and you can't cut them out of the loop. So this might not be a bad idea if you expect to be done within 3 years. Although it also limits you to the U.S. because the rest of the world is opening their eyes to the hydrogen scam, except Japan. Mm-mm-mm. And it's not. The reason I say it's a scam is because the amount of energy and effort they put into this is not. It just doesn't make sense when you look at the physics. All right, Sam Clemens. Seems to be plenty of confidence in the greater automotive press than GM's decision to cancel a $55 million fuel cell plant in former Michigan State Fairgrounds. This plan, a joint venture with Southeast Michigan's Piston Automotive, would have created 140 jobs and about 140 jobs and been built and built a compact hydrogen fuel cells for light and medium duty vehicles under the Hydrotech brand. Every time I see this Honda fuel cell, it looks ridiculous. And for it to take up so much volume, I wonder how much it actually weighs, because remember that Class 8 semis have a weight limit. The plan was frankly never going to work. It was always a cynical incentive grab, and with the fruits of GM's hydronic efforts were so laughably far behind the state of the electric art that the facts themselves blurred into the line between satire and reality. Who wrote this? Okay. That plan, frankly, was never going to work. Da, da, da. The new administration has put an end to that flow last week, however, terminating 321 financial awards for clean energy worth $7.56 billion. Uh, Certainly, the decisions of the Department of Energy are an element of overall climate, not the only driver, explained GM's spokesperson, Stuart Fowle. Fowle or Fowle? In a statement, we want to prioritize the energy, engineering and resources. Sorry, I want to prioritize the engineering and resources and everything we've got, everything we have to continuing to advance EVs, given hydrogen is in a different spot. Yeah, the beyond where we were looking with the solid state batteries, which are almost here finally. Instead of being 10 years out, 10 years out. Here we go. Let's do the electric things because you'll already know what I think. All right, fuel cells like the one from GM and Honda will continue to seem like a good idea for about as long as it takes the heavy equipment guys to watch a Z-Quib video. A Z-Quib video. Oh, okay, I see. We're talking about the battery swaps we've discussed before. And that makes sense, yeah. Because you can invest all this stuff in hydrogen, or you can invest a lot less in quick swaps. Let's get to the comments. Ooh. What about the elephant in the room? Neither oil companies nor auto manufacturers want to build the hydrogen fueling station. Yeah, that part. Look at the ones they just closed down last time. They were maintenance nightmares and they were not safe. Well, we had 3 or 4 explode. It's a bit much. Better Future says, keep in mind that black and gray hydrogen are derived from fossil fuels, which would ensure continued profitability for that industry. Yes, but that doesn't mean that they want to distribute the stuff. They'll gladly sell you the oil to make it, but they don't want to do the rest of the work. He says if the oil companies have decided they can't make any money because there's no future, uh, the car manufacturers won't bring it. Remember Toyota's empty promise to this? It just won't happen. Trucking companies likely will at some point. No, no, they won't. I mean, you might see some projects, some lines, but you need a place to refuel your trucks. And if they're not on your routes, and if it makes your routes inflexible, it's not what you need. Now, recharging time is 10 to 80% for 1 megawatt hour pack on 1.4 megawatt charger is about half an hour. That would fit in a lunch break or legally mandated stop. So, yep. The biggest charging plaza has 108 600 plus kilowatt chargers, and hydrogen's biggest problems are cost and the lack of any benefit given its gas with extra steps. Excuse me, sorry. There's not a single trucking company doing this now. Since when we have trucking companies? Since when have trucking companies ever provided fuel? Mm-hmm. Dead on arrival, in my opinion, they say. Existing hydrogen refueling stations will tell otherwise. Bringing pressure back up, dealing with frozen nozzles, makes the process often slower than recharging an EV. This is true. And even if it was faster to fill, and then your vehicle gets frozen to the nozzle, now you're waiting for it to defrost. So you didn't actually save any time. You just got the energy into the vehicle faster. Same for railroads. They are not interested in stringing overhead wires for a great variety of reasons. Because they're cheap buggers. And there are plenty of situations that an EMD Joule or GE Wabtec flex drive is not suitable for. So hydrogen it is. So they stand a chance because they don't necessarily want flexible routes, but then you're looking at a hybrid because it would need to run on diesel where they don't have electric running, or electric where they do, and there's more chance of it happening there. But I don't think so. So trucking companies and the railroads too run on slim margins and are interested in profit more than anything else. And hydrogen costs as much 6 to 8 times as much as the cost of diesel fuel, which is the other part. So we'd have to get them to see an appetite to invest in infrastructure, and then we'd have to see the price of their current fuel skyrocket. But it's so much cheaper to put batteries on your vehicles and charging stations. And the fuel is, if you get some solar, the fuel is dirt cheap. So once again, these people see through the mess. We'll see if anybody else does. It's dead, Jim. Dr. McCoy from Star Trek. Or Scotty said, I'm not a magician's book, uh, just an engineer. These are not driving on the highway, fueling up. They are working at a remote location with hydrogen shipped in. I know Elon told the sheep that the cells don't work, but Elon has an agenda. So again, we're working with companies that are trying to make a profit. You would need some sort of perfect storm where they're not allowed to have diesel emissions, and for some reason they can't just bring in batteries, because you can put a couple Tesla Megapacks on a truck or competitors and swap them out physically if there's no grid connection where you are, and you can't run generators there. And so if you have all those problems, you probably also can't put solar there. You can move batteries around. The numbers just don't work out for this. If you're in Japan and they're subsidizing you, or if you're the show white paper installation, then yeah, the manufacturer might help you with it, but the numbers for this aren't going to work. Not with current technology. I'm not saying to stop investing in the research, but the production end is not ready. Companies are actually setting up solar fields and battery storage in remote locations, saving a fortune in not trucking in fuel. Electric vehicles have quick payback and low maintenance too. Hydrogen, the EV part of the hydrogen matches all that, but the new fuel part of it does not. Exactly, this makes so much more sense. Fuel cells in their current state are known to be much less efficient than batteries when considering the well-to-wheels together. Yes, there's that as well. But again, the cost of the fuel is substantially more than gas and diesel. Last time we did the math and looked it up, it was $36 a kilogram, aka $36 a gallon. I don't know what gas costs today, but it's not that. Oh boy, it's not that. All right, now let's look at what gas costs today, because I am curious. We'll do it in the same window, I suppose. National gas price. Today. Approximately 3.159 per gallon today. So over 10 times the cost of today's fuel, and they're just going to happily do this out of the goodness of their hearts. Don't think so. All right, so next, the topic we get on a lot: charging at apartments and other multifamily dwellings. Want EV charging at your apartment? As an owner of an EV, or as an owner or renter, click here, update. EVs are great and unlock more transportation convenience. One of the main benefits is owning and charging a car in place. It spends most of its time. Yeah, like I said, at work or at home. And if you can't do either of those, it becomes more of a logistical challenge. It only applies with a consistent parking place, which can easily install charging at. The other place it would work is if it can charge fast enough and you drive few enough miles per shopping period, if you can charge where you get your groceries. As a result of this, EV ownership among apartment dwellers lags behind single-family homeowners. Yes, the only place that you see where this is high is where the fuel cost is high, or you got a bunch of people who are mobile. Like they won't stay in an apartment for that long. It's like, oops, we're just here for a year, or a quarter, or a month, whatever. Because I've done it. It's a challenge. Let's see. So fourth, a nonprofit advocating for equitable access to transportation, clean transportation, set up a program called Charge at Home, which is meant to connect renters, apartment building owners, and decision makers with resources to help install chargers at multifamily properties. This sounds familiar, and that might be why it says update. I thought we talked about something like this. You select your situation, a residence. Oh, this was the one that was like running out of time, and I told you guys to go take a look before it ran out of time. I don't see the update portion. But yeah, it's a good thing to do. Speaking of hydrogen, this Maryland county will get its power from a solar farm on a landfill. I guess that's not exactly hydrogen. It's methane, which could be reformed into hydrogen. But anyway, rather than even use the methane, you've got a solar farm on top of the dump. So Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore County, Maryland, just got its first large-scale ground-mounted solar farm online, and it's on what used to be the Pacton landfill. The 2013 site, the 213-acre site, once a symbol of waste, is now generating clean power that will cut costs, slash emissions, and turn an underused piece of land into a long-term energy asset. And there's not a lot that you can do with these properties as they do their second phase of their job. You have an open pit and you pour garbage in it, and then 50 plus years or more, it's just there letting the decomposition happen. A lot of places put beautiful parks on top. There's still some stuff you can do with it, but if you don't want to put a park on it, you can use it for land that isn't sensitive to stuff like this. Like you can't do normal construction on it, but this works. Located north of Baltimore City, Baltimore County is one of Maryland's largest and most populous cities. Its push to renewables has major implications for the state's climate and energy goals. Mm-hmm. The new solar farm will provide around 11% of Maryland County government's annual electric producing. Annual electricity, producing 8.2 million kilowatt hours in its first year. Not bad. That's the equivalent of avoiding greenhouse gas emissions from burning over 620,000 gallons of gasoline, which powering more than 150 homes for a year, or driving 14 million fewer miles in gas cars, according to the EPA. Okay, yeah, that's the only way that the gasoline angle works is if you use cars, because you'll use methane or other stuff for grid production. Very very little of the oil on the grid is in terms of gasoline and diesel, but it's there. 7-megawatt system includes 4 large arrays of 15,000 ground-mounted photovoltaic panels. It's part of a growing trend in the U.S. to repurpose capped landfills for renewable energy, turning dormant properties into productive clean energy sites. And then others still will take the methane outgassing and burn that too. So, well, you have to burn it anyway, but instead of just flaring it, they turn it into energy production for their community. If you don't burn it, you've made a mess. Either a potential bomb or a greenhouse nightmare. Because methane is extremely potent. Through a power purchase agreement with Total Energies, which owns and operates the system, Baltimore County will lock in reduced electric rates for 25 years with the option to extend the contract for up to 32 years. That long-term deal protects taxpayers from future electric rate hikes while advancing local climate goals. Not bad. Mm, Now it says log in or sign up. Interesting. Mm. The photo shows fixed tilt panels on ballasted racks, which is pretty typical for landfill cover systems where penetrations aren't allowed. Oh, good to know. Thank you. The fact that these types of brownfields has limited use, you can't dig or replant trees. It's clever. Mm-mm. So then I had this one pulled up. 50 kilowatt portable DC fast charger from Lincoln Electric. A friend of ours has operated Spark Charge, and this looks like a competitor. What I'm doing now is getting logged into their system because I'm not logged in for some reason. Two EV tolls from Xpeng, Aero HT collide and crash. Well, that's not good. A 3,000 watt electric trike is for grandpas with style. Interesting. Interesting indeed. There you go. Fill in the password, please. That's the place. Go. Okay, so now the welding equipment experts at Lincoln Electric know a thing or two about high voltage equipment. Now they're bringing that electrical expertise to a whole new market with portable, self-contained DC, 50 kilowatt DC fast charger designed to give a quick shot of range and get stranded drivers back on the road. Like I said, same as Spark Charge and their existing competition, but AAA and others would be wise to have a few of these in their fleet. And obviously, they're partners for the places where they don't operate directly themselves. So let's find out more about this particular device. Tow truck operators, construction fleets, and 50 kilowatts is not bad. I'm curious how many kilowatt hours it holds. If you can get about 10 in there, it'd be enough to get them, even like a Hummer, to the nearest charging station. It'd be cheaper than hauling the car in many cases, especially if you have a truck full of these and they just go around dropping them off. But that would change the logistics because people don't run out of charge that often. This could get interesting. Billion is designed for flexible mobile use and designed market collaboration. A lot of marketing speak. Designed and assembled in the United States with over 70% domestic content, the Villian Charger meets all NEC, not NEC, National Electric Vehicle NEVI, means NEVI, vehicle infrastructure and build America, buy America, BABA requirements. Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric plans to sell the Villian DC fast charge to municipal fleets and state highway agencies. Oh, that'd be a good idea, actually. Put on all those state highway trucks that run around. The rescue trucks being deployed in tough environments like construction sites and emergency response arenas. Build complex fixed fleet depots. Car dealerships, museums, probably ambulances too could benefit. I'm sure that's just scratching the surface. Some of those places it doesn't actually make sense to put them on uh, unless you're just using it as portable charge. regardless. Like at a dealership, you could do that instead of installing as many chargers, because when you look at how often you need to bring your mobile um, 12-volt charger around a lot of the dealership lots, this could be the same thing for getting a little shot of juice in there. In fact, uh, you have the same problem with the gas vehicles where somebody has run them dry and then parked them without enough to get anywhere. So this would be that. That's a major detail glossed over by the article. As others have said, there's no battery included, and almost certainly, and Smart Charge is a battery included, so that changes things. And it's almost certainly going to be used with a generator, as what a few mobile battery trucks out there are. So far, there will likely. I can't make the text any bigger. I can, but it's not going to give us what we want. As others said, no battery included. It almost certainly is going to be used with a generator, as what a few mobile battery trucks they're out there so far will likely already come with the charge controller built in, rather than also having to carry this portable unit. You could roll your own batteries or get um, just a battery only solution, assuming that this can manage a battery, like charge it, do the BMS stuff. Otherwise, yeah, he's got a point. I suppose that motorsports or other remote events involving EV vehicles be a potential application. Not really, though. It's just 50 kilowatts. You don't want 50 kilowatts in the middle of your race. You want a mobile megawatt charger, or one at the track, or more than a megawatt, depending on what your requirements are for your fleet. Like if you're gonna have a battery size requirement, a battery power component, same way you've got all these different regulations on the combustion fuel racers. They've got them in the EV races as well. But 50 kilowatts is going to lead for a very boring set of races. So, in a good roadside assistance application, it would certainly be faster, which would equate to safer. But at over $20,000, oh, yikes! Didn't realize it was that expensive. It was looking like 5 to 10 grand. It looks like it would be a hard sale compared to level 2 EVSE hooked up to the same generator, or something like a vehicle to load EV or hybrid truck with 240 output. Mm-hmm. I suppose that motorsports or other remote events involving EV vehicles would be a potential application, but back to the power source, you're likely defeating the purpose of using EVs there unless you somehow lugged a battery pack out as well. And then it's still sorry, I was going to whisper, but my microphone would tend to filter that out. So, and then you've still got the problem of the 50 kilowatts. The slower Tesla urban chargers are 72 kilowatts, and people complain about those. Take another 25 kilowatts away. 28. No, 20, 22. Either way. Yeah, 28. That's a lot. That's a lot less cool to see. The picture and the headline had me leave it open, but I didn't read them yet. That's why they're over there. The car sits forever, even on ice cars, batteries dying is a huge issue in the hot and cold months. Every store has at least 2 jump boxes for this reason. Yes, yes, we had I think we had 4 at my biggest store, and then we had, the gas cans. And to use the same jumpers on the EV, if the 12 volt goes, yes, indeed. The high voltage battery goes, your high voltage battery is not going to discharge to the point where you can't drive across the lot to the charger you already have on the wall. You would be surprised. The amount of times we had to bring gas to a car, or if it was, not boxed in by a bunch of other dead cars, you could bring the golf cart to tow it. But mm, no, this you might want one of these with a battery cart at a larger dealership. Hopefully, wouldn't get a lot of use, but every time I think it'd be fun to go do some more work at a car dealership, it's like, no. Plus, I'm married now, and I was single back then. Every dealership taxes marriages unless you're the ownership, and even then it taxes them because you have a situation where you can't run your schedules the way that your spouse would expect. And so unless they were also car salespeople, and the problem still came up. But it's like, hey, we've got plans. Let's go. Oh no, I got to put them on hold. I've got a customer just came in. Or hey, why are you late coming home? Oh, I had to close out this deal. I'm not saying it doesn't work ever. I'm just saying it puts a lot of stress on them, and you'll see that that's an industry where you have a lot more either divorces or infidelity, or both. So I know that she wouldn't appreciate the random scheduling, and I know that the kiddos won't either. The kids didn't seem to have a problem with it. Um, from the people that I met, they were more flexible, but they did get occasionally disappointed if you've got something happening like a birthday or whatever. But most of the time, the person didn't skip a birthday, but it could be something like they're late to a school play or whatever. It's a rough job. It's a very rough job. Yeah, you could trade off with a partner, but then the same thing happens there where they catch a customer, and so you really need like 2 partners to catch your deals, and it's I don't miss those aspects of it. I do miss the interacting with people about the new cars and the new cars themselves and all the training. Of course, with the legacies and the EVs, there wasn't a lot of that going on yet. Not when I was in there. What assistance application would certainly be faster, which would equate to a safer. But we read this guy. Uh, I prefer this option to a tow. I'm still not confident tow truck drivers know how to properly and safely hook a a battery electric vehicle. It's mixed. Some of them know and then don't do, and others don't know. And your results will vary. My wife's last XC90 was killed by the tow driver who couldn't figure out the wheel locks. Definitely agree. Not that this would have helped. One software update away from my TIG welder being able to recharge my EV. Yes, yes, indeed. Software update, and then the appropriate charging handle. All right, let's continue on. We read that one. I logged into the site. And what have I got stored away? Liebherr battery energy storage system to keep Austrians safe from avalanches. It's a feel good story. Moving on. Um, how one condo complex electrified all 143 parking spots for free. That's one worth looking at. Another thing I'm going to do before we move on to the next story after this one is just see what's sitting at the top of these guys' page before we look at what's left and then move on to other people's stuff. Um, full free. So those are all. 15 amp 240. No, there's a mixture. That's 20 amp 240, 20 amp 120. 15 amp 120. Really? Yeah, really. 20 amp 240, a 15 amp 240, and a 20 amp 120. Well, I guess you can't use them all in one spot anyway, but weird. A condo complex out of Northern California recently installed EV chargers in every single one of its 143 spots, future-proofing the whole complex for a fully electrified future, and it managed to do it with zero cost out of pocket. Nice. Here's how. Right out of the bat, we have to come clean. The operative phase there is out of pocket. Yeah. While this installation is still very low cost, it was made with only made with zero cost for the complex, thanks to utility incentive from Peninsula Clean Energy, PCE, a local clean energy utility in San Mateo County. However, that incentive covered $2,000 per spot, and that's still really low cost for installing chargers in every single parking spot in a complex, nonetheless. The condo complex is Bayview Condominiums in Millbrae, California, just south of San Francisco. The region is a hotspot for EV adoption, so there's no surprise there that we are feeling big moves in the electrification area. Happy Sunday, Lee! Good to see you. Yeah, so we're looking at this how this apartment complex electrified all of their spots, and this is a good idea because if the car is just going to be parked, you got time to charge it. And I guess that the variety of charging plugs is just so that when you bring your own mobile connector, you have something to plug it into, and you can pick what's fastest. So if you can do 240, but only at 15 amps, you go with the left. You can do 240 at 20 amps, you go in the middle. And if you can only do 20 amps of 120, you go on the right. Let's see. Probably use majority. If you do need more than that, there's an option. Each of GoPower's EV chargers has 3 plugs: 120 volts, 20 amp, NEMA 520 outlets, 1 240 20 amp, and NEMA 620, and the center. 520, 620. What's the other one? Should be 5. See the 520. 2 520s. Oh, that's what it is. 2 520s. Okay. Clearer picture there. I thought it was just the slanted, because then that would be DC only, but the DC is on the right, the winky. So fair enough. What? Oh, that would be a 20 amp, only 120 if it was the left one was slanted. But if the right one is slanted, it's 240. Anyway, if the driver needs a quicker charge on any given night, they can take the middle outlet and request more power for a few extra cents per kilowatt hour. Why? It's yes, baby. Do what with your iPad? Is it need charge? It doesn't need charge? It's pretty low. It's 29%. Oh, you want to close this app? You want to open it? Well, hold on. Let me see if I can open it for you. Has it ever worked? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it does. Are you sure, baby? It just asked for $13 and then it's spinning again. I'll restart it again, but I don't think it's gonna work for you, baby. Hold on. Here you go. Let's see. Oh yeah, so the cost of doing these as 240s instead of 120s is negligible at this amperage. Why not just make that just available by default? Especially if you're already running enough for 3 outlets. What, baby? What? Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. Yeah, because they did that to me too, and they did that to you the first time. I think it's broken. Maybe they'll have an update this week. We'll keep an eye on the App Store, okay? Sorry. Yeah, the app she wants just spins and spins. I don't think it's ever worked though. Oh yes. So if you're already running these cables, I don't see why not 240. Yeah, you could get another one. But if only one spot can be plugged at a time, you can just disable the two 120s and you got the 220 for free. That's 240 for free. So unless the payment is because you've disabled the extra charging spot, because if you take the two and put in the one, then why is it not a 40 amp? Well, no, it would still be the amp. The amps don't change just because you. Yeah, so that would work. Never mind on that part. Yeah, so they might be charging because you've disabled one of their spots. I don't know. It seems to be a little extra penny pinchy to me. Doesn't sit right. Because you'll be using their power for less. Because you won't be running the pumps and stuff as long as you would on a 120 session. Anyway, though 3.3 to 3.9 kilowatts, and only in your neighborhood, only if your neighbor doesn't need much of a charge. Okay, so yes, because you're taking away one of the spots. This isn't the only provider or the only solution for apartment complexes. Yes, correct. But it's pretty affordable. Because 3.3 kilowatts, we did that for a long time, from 2012 through probably about 2016, 2017, as the Model S started to really roll out. That was even publicly, that was de facto. The 7 kilowatt chargers were available, but not the default. And then Tesla made 10 kilowatt chargers very popular, or 19 kilowatt chargers in my case, 20s. You get a pair of 10s, you get 80 kilowatts at 19.2 kilowatts, and that's my favorite. But not nobody, but very few are including a 19 kilowatt onboard charger anymore, unfortunately, even for a fee. So not the only one. Low power charging is a good solution for most. Yes, because was it 39.4, 39.7 is the U.S. average miles per day. Easy. Let's see, because 3.3 we get you done on a volt at 16 kilowatts hours, but it was really 10, then later like 11, 12, 13 kilowatt hours. Will get you done in like 4 hours. So, and that was 40 miles. So 4 hours, you sleep for, let's say 8, or at least you're off the road for 8. Uh, that's 80 miles right there. Done. Very done. Um, I like it. Low power charging become a more popular solution lately for large projects because the economics of how cheaply it can be done. Yeah, yeah. To get a higher power charging everywhere, you have to. I mean, it's not impossible, but you generally have to plan in advance to make it happen affordably. More apartment charging is better for everyone. Yes. Electric's take. I thought this was all your take. The options are for building managers, or more for building managers and renters, but just another step. Yeah. I use a 520 outlet combined with Tesla mobile chargers to charge my Tesla all the time. It's a dedicated outlet in my garage, and I brought the 520 adapter for the mobile charger. It works perfectly for my charging speeds, and will charge the car from 30% to 100% in about 20 hours. Uh, Roughly 7 to 8 miles per hour charge rate. My weekly commute usage leaves me with about 30% charge at the end of the week. So is that 30% with you topping it off every day, or 30% then you just charge it up on Sunday? Either way, it doesn't matter. 20 hours is enough for what you need. However, if he could get 620, that would double. So you'd be looking at 14 to 16 miles per hour, and then 10 hours of recharge. So uh, it's economical to do a 620. I mean, if you're going to run it and you can only have this much conductor, I'd go with the 620. Unless you don't have enough slots on the breaker to do it, because you do need 2 hots. Oh, I gotta update my Aptera referral code. They changed it. I'm looking for the search button. I've got this like southern theme on my email. Email is pretty to look at, but I don't have a theme on the web version, so it makes finding the buttons harder. Oh, I'm offline. That's why. You can't search online when you're offline. There's my search button. Aptera. If I spell it right, I spelled it with 2 L's. All right, we'll just search for Aptera then. Oh, I'm searching only junk. There we go. Oh, and I flagged it too. I now have a new referral code. It's this. Is that me? Oh, they made it so easy. Thanks, guys. Share this tab instead. Preferences. Well, interesting. I'm kind of interested in letting them do the performance, but if they consider it to be selling my stuff, then yeah, no. Save and finish. Solar power, drive system, interior, pre-order upgrades. You're up there. Okay, yeah. Let me put this in the chat. Uh, highlight these. Do a little paste action over here. Copy this. We're going to use it elsewhere. And paste. There's my new referral code for Aptera. So I got the Luna color. Soul, I think, is the one I put on my pre-order. Nope, that's not the one I picked. I got the Soul interior. Noir. No, I got Noir. There we go. I had black everything. The range, I did pick the max range at the time. But now that I've got car seats, it's not just me and Gig. I don't know. I'd probably want to go with like the 250, but with all the solar cells, because that means it would be just me and Gig, or me and one of the girls, or one of any future kids. All panels. Yep, I did want all panels because why not? 40 miles per day. Front wheel drive. I actually picked all wheel drive. And the interior. The interior has changed since we last saw them. Not we. You guys probably have seen it, but we looked together. I like the new mirror. New wheel is still kind of cute. I like the new screen. I want to say I was with Vita or Coast. Codex looks good. Yeah, I was with an older version of Vita. Ooh, I like Coast. Black with the blue? Sign me up. I have a shirt like this. It's got the blue stripe right there. Yeah. And it's more black than white. Open Pilot. Camping kit. I wonder if Open Pilot as an OEM would work better. I'm not saying it works poorly. I'm saying I wonder if it would perform better when they're kind of redone. The pet kit and the off-road kit. I don't know that I want to be off-road in a three-wheeler, but it's an option. And that's not a terrible price for Open Pilot compared to what FSD and Blue Cruise and Super Cruise charge. Yeah, the price only drifted a little bit. I think it was 40 grand last time I looked. $100 due today. I'm not reserving another one. Although, with just the two kids, if it gets learns to drive, then we could just take two cars everywhere. Or if this thing could run as a robo-taxi, and then put the two girls in there and let them go to school. That wasn't a launch goal, but interesting. So, like, if I changed it to what I would actually get today, I'd still want the three-wheel drive, but let's do 250, 32. It's actually down from where I came in at. I need to be 31 without the Open Pilot. Yep. I'm imagining you get a volume discount on that. I'd have to check and see what they charge. But again, if it just comes there, then I don't have to worry about integration. Okay, so that's Aptera. So they're suggesting that the Nissan Leaf is not a good lease deal, but is a good purchase deal as of October 10th. Upgraded in nearly every way possible, but for 2026 model year, the Leaf has grown up and is still one of the most affordable EVs, starting at 30 grand. However, lease prices are not so cheap because when you think about how leasing works, Nissan is obviously not confident enough that they're not going to be stuck with them, so they want you to shoulder more of the cost. That's how leasing works. You pay for the parts you use. And they're thinking that you're going to be using more than typical. All right, so what we're going to do is go to the top of their page. That way we're prepared as I roll through uh, the rest of what I've got to open and move on to other outlets. Clear skies ahead. Delta partners with Mave on M80 hybrid regional aircraft. Federal solar tax credit ends at December 31st, but there's still plenty of reasons to go solar. What's your reason? Lowering my monthly electric bills. I mean, yes, but that's never been a top decision maker for me. The it's the right thing to do. The climate, this, that, and the other. The go hug a tree, go hug a bunny. Energy independence and less reliance on the grid. That's part of it for me, but it's not the primary either. Raising the value of my property, increasing curb appeal, no, because it does the opposite in my neighborhood. So for me, it was lowering my monthly utility bills. And let's see. Okay, energy independence was pretty big. Uh, that those two are related, depending on how aggressive you go with it. Right, let's go back to the jet. Delta Airlines is teaming up with Dutch aviation startup Mave Aerospace to take the idea of a more advanced fuel-sipping hybrid electric aircraft from the drawing board to regional commercial service. So is it a plug-in hybrid? Because that would be cool. Any other type of hybrid, not seeing it unless it better manages waste because airplanes are, I don't want to say they're efficient, but they don't have a lot of places that you can recover energy to run a battery hybrid um, without external input. Does it say any details about this thing? Maybe it's a turbo fan rather than turbo. Or sorry, turboprop. Yeah, turboprop rather than turbofan. Interesting. The M80 electric with 80 seat. Okay, that's why it's 80. M80, 80 seats. November of 23 as sustainable, cost effective. So we probably looked at it then. As designed, the M80 promises an operating range of more than 900 miles. Not bad. With 40% higher fuel efficiency than conventional aircraft. Similar concept to the way the Toyota Prius uses electric motors to accelerate and cruises on a small ICE engine. Interesting. You wouldn't need to charge as much if you're only using this thing to take off. And if you use it to slow down to land, you might not need to charge it that long. Hybrid engine architecture provides an additional electric power assistance at low altitude and high drag flight. The M80's electric motors can also be used during taxiing operations on the ground to reduce surface level carbon emissions. Okay, you can use them to taxi too. That's cool. A more efficient integration of more electric aircraft systems. That's true if you've got a large battery that can run your engines. You can put way less load on everything if you put the computers on that as well. Two facets of the aircraft designs that are specifically called out in Delta's press material. All right, we're going to have to go to the comments on this one. It doesn't sound like a plugin. If this helps bridge the industry until alternate fuels or systems arrive, I'm all for them. See, the other good thing is if you were to make it a plug-in, then eventually you could swap out the battery modules. Yes, you would not do it willy-nilly, but if it was worth it, like if there's a performance jump or cost reduction, it would be worth getting your FAA certification to change it. So going Prius style rather than plug-in Prius style is disappointing, but better than nothing. Maybe naming a plane after an explosive device is a bad idea. Yeah. Then maybe firework. Just search for open rotor aircraft and listen. The open rotor planes are insanely noisy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Continuing on. Tesla's more affordable Model Y is now available in the EU. It's a better deal there. Well, I mean, there's only two places to get a Model 3, China and Fremont. So it's good business, I think. So we talked about this on the Tesla Live show, and then I got interrupted with a the process server. I'm being sued for winning in a case of my where I got hit by the tractor trailer 4+ times. We won, and 8 years ago, it happened. We won. Then we cross appealed because reasons, and then they took it to the Supreme Court, state Supreme Court, and we prevailed each time. And after that order came down, during the Tesla Live show, I got very rude knocks at the door, and it was the process server. And yeah, so they are suing us and the trucker, they being their insurance company, the trucker's insurance company. My lawyer was less than thrilled when I told him about it. But anyway, back to this. So I didn't have much to say on the show about this because I was distracted, and I like the new Model Y, and I think that the new Model 3 is the better deal, at least in the States. There's less compromises, less removals. I'm not saying that the Model Y is bad. It just seems a bit expensive. Not as bad as the Cybertruck rear-wheel drive that we got so far. That one was it did not feel like a good deal. But this one feels like they could have brought the price down a little bit more in the hopes that people would just pick up autopilot and FSD. Or at the price it's at, they could have just kept autopilot in there, auto steer, and then persuaded you to upgrade to FSD. So, if you asked me, like if I had to go pick up a car for one of the girls now, we would go with the base Model 3. If it was for gig, though, we probably would get this base Model Y. But we're not there right now, so that's not something I have to actively consider. Let's see. So in the more affordable in the US, they are saying that massive number of missing features, fewer. The European release has fewer cut features, okay, and a larger price differential, making the calculus much different in the territory where Tesla sales have fallen rapidly. Let's see. The started telling us about more affordable models. And so that was the other part that I said is that Elon kept saying models, Tesla kept saying models, and then it led out that it was just a Model Y with a headliner. People didn't believe me about the glass, but I was right. But it did turn out to be models because it wasn't just a Model Y. They did the same treatment, but I think a fairer deal on the Model 3. The manual steering column is interesting to me. It's not a bad decision. It works. It's just weird, considering the stuff that they did keep in the car that they could have cut and still been both cheaper and not too cheap like we saw with the Cybertruck, or approaching too cheap like we see with this particular Model Y. Something Talking about the Model 2, which it was never going to be. Affordable models years ago. We called it the Model Next. It's still out there, even if they say canceled. There's a Model Next. We just don't know what it is. It's not these. These are just cheaper trims. That didn't stop Tesla from claiming that the more affordable models are coming. In quarterly reports, it stated repeatedly that it was working on more affordable models. Plural. Yep, the plural was not a lie or a marketing stretch or whatever. Model Y standard is now available throughout Europe as of today. That was fast. They were saying US only, but wow, there it is. It doesn't make sense though, because the Model Y is built in all their factories except Giga Nevada and Giga Buffalo. All their automotive factories, I should say. You've got Fremont, you've got Austin, you've got Shanghai, and Berlin. So it wasn't a stretch to do this everywhere. Probably just a matter of logistics, making sure the parts were all available everywhere and that the US launch went well. Another typically Tesla missed deadline. Yes. We finally got to see the results of the stripping down process, and Tesla released the new standard trim of the Model Y on Tuesday. And it also released a somewhat less stripped down version of the Model 3, which was a bit of a pleasant surprise, as that model was both cheaper and missing fewer features than the Model Y standard. It has the same motor with a different tune than the regular Model 3, whereas the Model Y has a different motor. Both have the same battery pack. And the battery pack is not missing, but it has fewer cells than the others. Ooh. The Velcro on this screen is the Velcro didn't come up, but the adhesive that holds the Velcro to the screen came up. That's yuck. Anyway, where were we with that? The battery is fewer cells, but that's not the way they typically did it in the past, where they would just take out a module or cut a module in size, or pair modules in size. They took out some of the parallel cells, so it's still the same voltage, and you can charge at 225 kilowatts. So more than mine can charge at. Not much more, but more than mine can charge at. And almost the same capacity, because my capacity is down from 100 kilowatt hours ish, 102 and change, down to like about 88 kilowatt hours, and these ship with 70. So 70, take about 5% away at first. I say at first, like in the first year and a half, because they're not using the LFP cells; they're using standard cells. At first, those new trims were available only in the US, but we knew they'd come to Europe sooner or later. Yeah, but I was expecting it within the week. It's like next month. And now it's here. Tesla's Model Y standard is a better deal in Europe. The Model 3 is missing. With this, I am expecting, one, we got to get the parts over to China. Two, they are probably going to give a different build entirely. Like wherever the reason it seems that the Model 3 was less of a haircut, I think that the parts to strip it down are coming. Like the new motor, they might not have been able to build enough of the new motors to put it in all the cars. And so then you get the ability to give both cars the exact same range rating, which is kind of cool to me. But you put that new, cheaper, more efficient motor in the Model 3 with the same battery, and the Model 3 will go back to being more range. And I think that's probably what they're waiting on, to get enough of them to distribute in the US and China on the new output Model 3s. And we'll see that slip in, we'll see the range change, and that will be how we know that they've done something, and that's most likely what it'll be. And at that point, the Model Y should be in its final form for the standard trim. I say final form, but I mean just like this next plateau. Because as we've seen since 2012, they don't really sit there. They keep updating the car, both in manufacturing and in software. The price cut is actually more like 20% compared to the premium trim, with the standard trim starting at €40, 40,000 euros, and the premium at 50,000 euros. The price and incentives will vary by country. Europe did previously have a standard range rear-wheel drive Model Y with a similar battery pack for around 45,000, but other content brought the price down even further now. Yeah, so we had one here too for a minute, similar to the Model 3 SR Plus, Standard Range Plus, but they didn't hang around very long, and same thing there. This one's less appealing to me though because of how much they cut. With the other one, it was you lose a few speakers, and that was really about it. You lost a few speakers and some battery capacity, software adjusted speed. It wasn't appreciably different between them. Uh, oh, yeah, sorry about that. The screen turned off for a long time on the phone, but thankfully it's still working there. You're still missing a lot of features with the standard trim in the EU. No rear screen, no fewer speakers, smaller wheels. I was about to say I agree. I think the smaller wheels is a good thing. Author agrees. Smaller battery, slower acceleration, no ambient lights, tactile seats. I was about to say these textile seats seem pretty nice. They look to me like the original textile seats, um, and those were good. They look like them, but they also look like they have learned some stuff since the last time around. So they should be more comfortable and easier to clean, easier to maintain. Uh, no second row heating. Okay. Second row heating would be nice because if you can bun warm everybody, then you don't need to run as much forced air heating, uh, saving range in the cooler areas. Not in the wintertime, but just cooler. Wintertime too, because you can run at a lower heating temperature, but you can't just skip it like you can in the early fall. Worse suspension, uh, standard glass all around, and a covered up glass roof, which has puzzled many as to why Tesla didn't just put a metal roof up there, or just leave the glass uncovered. So they didn't leave the glass uncovered because it's not going to be up to their standard all the times. This is my theory, suspicion of how this. You can order cheaper glass from your same supplier or a different supplier or a mixture of suppliers, uh, but you don't have to spend as much on coatings to keep it UV friendly. You don't have to make sure it's clear. You don't have to make sure it doesn't have as many little imperfections in the glass, and you can get away with still being glass, but being cheaper. But then you just want to cover it up. Uh, Kyle and Alyssa over at Outer Spec, they pointed out that it also does help with the noise reduction because if you've also got rid of the double pane front and rear windows, or just the double pane front windows, and you have this cheaper glass on it, it could get uncomfortably sounding in there. You could have like reverberations or any number of audio issues, and then the cloth headliner all the way through will mitigate some of that. Da, da, da. Comparison of features of each trim in Europe and the incentives they offer, how they differ by country. You're actually missing fewer features than on the US standard trim. Two controversial movers were the lack of power folding side mirrors, making the base Teslas the only new vehicles in the US without this feature. Citation needed. 40,000 Model 3 is the only new car sold in America with manual side mirrors, according to The Drive. This could be true. only new car sold in North America without side mirrors. You've got the Camaro, the Mustang, the Charger, Model 3, all the BMWs and Porsches. I don't think Cadillac even has one anymore, do they? I have two with their Cadillac, and theirs would be power folding. Uh, Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. They might add it because it's cheap to add, just to make their car seem more premium. The Kia and Hyundai, they would definitely add it to make their car seem more premium because they're all about what you can see and touch. They would rather do that than anything in the engine bay or suspension or transmission. That sounds accurate now that you put it that way. It's the year 2025, and my teenager doesn't know the difference between a telephone call and a FaceTime call because it's the same to her. My children are about the same. Um, they do. They don't know how it's happening. They do a video call, and for some reason, the people aren't on the screen call. Telephone call, FaceTime call. Our grandparents would have written off as a Hollywood fantasy back in the day. Base models 3 and Y, also known as standard trim, does away with several features in exchange. If you can't personally think of a single new car sold in the United States with that that has manually adjustable mirrors, trucks. I've seen some trucks that still have where you got to push on the mirror to adjust it where it is, but that's a different thing. The manual folding and manual adjusting, it does not have manually adjusting mirrors on the Model 3 and Model Y. To my understanding, they are still electric, but you have to fold them in on your own. They probably also don't have the auto dimming. I don't know if the other 3s and Ys had the auto dimming though. Still an SNX daily driver. As the others in the office highlighted, even the Mitsubishi Mirage. Really? That little thing. The Mitsubishi Mirage, which is no longer in production and still, but is still available new in dealerships across the country for 17 grand, has power mirrors. The standard Model 3, I think they are confusing power folding with power mirrors. Let's see if the comments adjust this. Why would anyone buy this over an EV in the same less money and better features? The new mirrors aren't manually adjusted. That's what I thought. I was like, what are these people going on about? They're manually folding. You can see the standard side mirrors controls 1139 in this video. Let's do it. Oof. Why is it so scrunchy? Let's take it here. Take
the all-new Tesla Model.
Okay, 1139. They said.
Responsive, super fast. You can charge at Tesla superchargers. There's nothing weird about that. No way to fold the mirrors, unfortunately, because we don't have that feature. But at least this is still automatic. Can you imagine if we had...
Okay, so yeah, done. Let's take you guys back. Share this tab instead. Close the YouTube video. Go back to this one. So it could still be the only one with not power folding mirrors, but I don't think so. I think that the electric author misunderstood the drive's author's misunderstanding of everything. So European standard trim actually has both of those features. It probably does still have the folding mirrors because why not? So only price differential is higher at 10K, but you get to keep auto steer and power folding. Yeah. That said, it seems the EU standard trim's battery is slightly smaller, while the US standard is about 10% less range than the US premium model. EU standard loses about 15% of its range from 622 to. I wonder if they went with the LFP pack on that one. That could do it. It retains the quick supercharging capability, though with very slightly slower charging speed due to the smaller battery. So the range difference shouldn't matter too much. Colors are also slightly different. One missing feature, the Model 3 is there's no standard Model 3 trim in Europe. Yeah, you just said that like a little bit ago. Model Y, not only because it's cheaper, but $5,500 price cut, but also removes features like the panoramic glass roof, which is retained on the standard Model 3, but covered up on the Model Y. Model 3 maintains the previous trim levels, starting with the Model 3 rear-wheel drive at $40K, same base price as Model Y standard. Still get more car though. Not more mass, but more car like features. So you can move up to a bigger car for the same price. Smaller cars are better. Hold the line in Europe. Model 3 expected to come to Europe eventually. Yeah. Why a better deal in the EU? Sales are tanking. That's one way to look at it. Could be tariffs and that sort of thing as well. Tesla sales problem is due to Musk. That's no way around it. He did not help things when he got involved in shenanery. Not just politics, lack of innovation. I wouldn't say they've failed to innovate. It just might not seem they're as far ahead of everything as everybody else. The Big Short on Tesla, it's a cult. Okay. Toyota's new BZ4X is the longest range domestic in Japan. Well, I mean, you've got Toyota, Honda, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru. So, when you make most of the EVs in Japan, yeah, that's easy enough to do. So, how much did they beat the Leaf by? 746 kilometers or 463 miles of range on the Japanese cycle versus the Leaf at what? Did I say Mitsubishi? Mitsubishi. Yeah, I said Mitsubishi because I was thinking the Outlander, even though they might have another EV. Personalize your Tesla and add range with Halo Disc 2 wheel covers. Okay. Tesla pushes Tron Aries inside of its cars, upsetting owners. Interesting. I did see an advertisement for this from Tesla on Instagram or YouTube. Tesla has partnered with its recent foe, Disney, to promote its latest movie, Tron Ares, with an in-car update that is not making everyone. Oh, I see why. Yeah, if you didn't buy your car with the Tron mode, and they just put it in there automatically, not as an option, and they just turned it on for you, again, not as an option. That's something that people were already warning us. You're gonna have advertisements in your car. You don't want a computer in your car with the internet. Blah blah blah. It's arrived. Many owners view it as Tesla making in-car advertisements or working on something that distracts them from software updates. Today, Tesla announced it began pushing an update to car owners, which essentially amounts to an advertisement for Disney's new movie, Tron Ares. The grid is expanded to your Tesla. Tron Ares update rolling out now. The update enables owners to turn their in-car visualizations to a Tron bike. So basically, it's like a GPS theme or a Waze plugin. I think mine still is in Halo mode on Waze. I'll have to check. Elon Musk, Tesla CEO, is notoriously not a fan of Disney and even removed Disney Plus from the Tesla theater. Tesla owner Matt Chinader. Oh, good. Advertisements are making it in my car. Austin Harrison wrote, I'm sorry, but this is absolutely a worthless update. And when did Tesla start partnering with woke companies like Disney? Didn't Elon just go on a rampage last week against woke? He's not too good for their money. Tesla owners, or maybe Disney wanted to shut him up because you can't blackmail me with money, but you can buy my silence. Uh, the last part wasn't ad lib, obviously, by me. But when you look at it, he doesn't ever say anything bad about China. And there's another one he won't ever touch. But that's what I'm saying. You can't buy his. You can't boycott him, but you can certainly buy his silence. Is how it's seeming based on this at first glance. Uh, it's my wife's old tablet. I need to nuke it and make it into a home display, home controller. They replaced hers. Let's see. Electric Take. This is not a good look. Definitely a promotional effort for the movie. Question is Tesla getting paid for this? They might not be getting paid for it if if the Model 3 and Y show up in the movie, or in kind transaction where you advertise for us, we advertise for you. So it doesn't necessarily have to be any cash changing hands for this. The original Tron movie Legacy wasn't great. It wasn't great. I didn't care for it, but I was never in its target demographic. And the second one, same deal. I don't want to say it wasn't good based on the people that have an affiliation for it. It wasn't for me. I'm not gonna say it wasn't good. Oh, he said he did like it though. I love the original movie. Legacy wasn't that great. Okay, so he didn't like the second one, but the soundtrack was outstanding. Yeah, John Legacy had a good soundtrack. Daft Punk did a number on that before they retired. Loved it. It was good to work and study to. Good background music. I mean, it's also good to just straight up listen to it, but it was good in the background for me. The most disappointing aspect is that Tesla would spend any effort on this rather than on much needed updates to its user interface and other software features within its vehicles. I, I, I I don't think that it took that much effort. You add in some sound effects, you add in a new avatar, which they already do for holidays. So it might have took a graphic designer a week's work to get it perfect, or a day to just slam some stuff together, or none at all if Disney did the work, the graphical work. Prediction: within the next year, Tesla will start doing this more often and offer ad-free experience with premium connectivity subscription. Oh, it's possible. It certainly is possible. Ford drops 7,500 EV tax credit program, but will still offer ways to save. Atlantic City Electric is paving the way for property owners to get more smart about EV charging. Kind of wish Omar was on. We could talk about this. Hey Bike Ranger 3.0 preview, 28 mile per hour foldable bike. The new Chevy Bolt undercuts affordable Tesla by 10K and wins on features. I saw. Hey Dave, I saw Dave, Dave Connor, and his wife at Universal, but I didn't have the runtime to look into it, and it was about the Bolt, so I watched something else. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Kyle. It's out there. It just for the runtime, I didn't want to watch it. Momentum unveils its upgraded Vita E Plus e-bike with throttle and bigger motor. Cool. VW just nuked its EV leaks deals while Rival sweetened theirs. So similar to the Nissan Leaf situation we just talked about, VW doesn't want these back. Tesla now sells a turn signal retrofit in the US for $595, solution to a problem it caused. So if you feel you need these, it's only $600 installed. You get a new wheel, or at least a new insert to the wheel. Nissan Ariya looks better than ever, but those in the US aren't going to see it. Yeah, what did they change on it this year? Now we only get the Leaf this year. Ariya looks like the new Leaf. Oh, are they doing that thing where it's the same car in two different regions with different names? That certainly is a possibility. Fresh new look. Oh, that's exactly what they're doing. They're renaming the Leaf into Aria. How are they going to separate the Leaf? Because the Leaf is sold worldwide, I believe. Interesting. Interesting. It's not going to be the Aria everywhere. Nissan confirmed that the electric SUV will feature a new infotainment system with Google built in, vehicle to load, both of which are already featured in the new Leaf. Yeah, it does look like the Leaf. But is it going to be like just like a premium trim on Leaf? Yes. What? The name of the dog? I don't know. I don't know the name. I didn't watch the show. I don't know the name. Oh, the truck? It's called a fire truck. His name? I don't know. Dog. Marshall? Maybe. That sounds right. You have a fire marshal, so why wouldn't they call him Marshall? Help people get down with the ladder? Yeah. Most fire trucks have a ladder. He has what in his car? Why does he have a steering wheel to steer the truck? He doesn't sleep in the car. Oh, on the TV? Well, dogs in the firehouse do sleep near the truck. Because it's warm? Firemen don't usually investigate ghosts. No. Probably for the Halloween special, they might have done it. She's talking about the Paw Patrol fire dog. Yeah, she's got the fire truck with the dog in it. Oh, wow. Why are his eyes green? Some dogs have green eyes. It's not common. Yeah. All right. See you soon. All right. Busted is to axe 2,000 jobs after U.S. wind setbacks caused by Don Quixote. That's what I call him because he's afraid of windmills. Chevy Bolt Chevy says the new Bolt will be sold for a limited time only. I think that's a mistake. Why is it a limited time only? That's weird. So weird. Why would you make a new car and make it a limited edition? What the heck? As I covered yesterday, the new Bolt is quite an attractive package. It's smaller than most other EVs. It's got neat capabilities. 29K is the most affordable EV in America. That might be why, but why not just say it's only available for a limited time at that price? That makes more sense. That was all smiles. Chevy gave out free merch. And yet one cloud hung over the event. The words limited edition. I mean, limited edition, they do that all the time too, but if the whole model is a limited model, that's creepy. Several GM employees use the phrase when referring to the Bolt alongside phrases like "get it while you can" and "we'll respond to the market," unless they're just not committing to doing a full run of it until they know they get the orders and the money. And I wonder, I didn't look. Is the new Bolt Bolt EUV size, or are they going to still have the Bolt and the Bolt EUV when it comes back? Even the first sentence, Chevy states that the Bolt is only coming back for a little longer. What's this, the McRib? The 2028 Bolt is back for a limited time. Get it while you can. Oh, we're partnered with McDonald's for the McRib while we're at it. How well would the Bolt sell? That looks beautiful. Have that Max board in there. Gigantic opening. So are they going to also sell it in Europe? No point for it to be that large if it's only in North America. Positive word of mouth. Tariff profitability concerns. Yeah, possibility. America needs this car right now. Yes, especially while things are getting more expensive and people still need to go to work and do stuff. Kia has a new idea to unlock longer lasting, more affordable EV batteries, which is what? Um, Publicly test an EV battery passport at the cellular level. Kia's new passport enables affordable EV batteries. What are passports? Um, okay, including including Tesla, Volvo, and I. So it's the same thing we looked at a couple years ago, where we looked at the Tesla and Audi um, pedigree for their battery samples. But how does that make the batteries more affordable? Using an EV3 equipped with a battery cell monitoring system for UK-based Duxi? Ducosi? Either way, Kia could monitor live data for every cell in the pack and upload it to the digital battery passport. The battery passport was at the time of sale. I don't understand why you'd be updating it as you go on. Once uploaded, drivers can access the data in real time through the vehicle's infotainment system, and the system will automatically update after repairs for the most accurate data. Oh, that part's kind of cool. Like if they change your battery, like my new battery, who knows where it came from? I do know about it because I've got the tools to look into it, but most owners don't. Traditional systems monitor the state of health of the entire battery. Yeah, that's, I mean, not that they don't know at the brick level. They might not show it to you. The EcoFlow Trail, 60,000 milliamp hours, 90,000 milliamp hour power stations at new lows from 104. Leviton 48 amp EV chargers, and Greenworks more. Okay, cool. The solar car maker Aptera is about to go public, and I'm worried. I did get that email recently, and I kind of disregarded it because they were always trying to get me to invest. And I don't have the spare change to invest in Aptera right now. The company behind a highly efficient electric vehicle program is the thing here, though, is if they're going public on their own without a spec, I'm not particularly worried. It's not a particularly good time, but it is cool to see. Marcus says, "Keep up the great work. Thank you. Good to see you. High voltage and performance racing with EV Smoke." Let's see. Now Aptera's going public. Electric Stake, as I previously disclosed, I invested a small amount in Aptera's crowdfunding campaign a few years ago. Nothing I wasn't entirely willing to lose, and I knew consistently stated that the project would be challenging to bring to market. Yes, I invested because I love the project and wanted to help give them a chance to succeed. Ooh, the other part of it, though, is this is what happened last time to kill Aptera. It wasn't that the product back then was a bad product. It was that they had some vultures among them in the investors that saddled them with some folks that didn't know what they were doing and pushed them out of business. But the folks that they've got there in charge right now were there when this happened, so I don't see them making the same mistake again. But that is a concern that they've guarded against it happening again. We'll see what happens with it. The new Nissan Leaf is back, and there's nothing like the old one. Yep. The world's first autonomous hydrogen farm tractor debuts in Kubota Orange. Kubota. Is it Kubota? Yeah, it's Kubota. I don't know why I say it. Maybe it's the font. Kubota tractors is pretty cool. Anyway, the hydrogen again, I don't see it. So give me some giant batteries and a decent charging station for this thing, and I'll put one on my fields. The Mercedes-Benz Elf mobile EV charging rig built for the megawatt power. Is it a tanker? A battery tanker? That's cool. Mercedes-Benz introduced. Wait though. Mobile EV charging rig built for megawatt charging power. Uh, So I'm guessing the van is not the elf. The van is just there. Because if the van was the mobile tanker, that would be cool. But I'm looking at the box here, and it's definitely portable. So the van might just be advertising it. It may look like an electric van. No, it's not. Okay, so the van is part of the system. It's more than any other ordinary electric vehicle. It's a symbol of a bold new era in charging. The luxury brand said Thursday. The nickname comes from the German experimental Lade Frauzug, sorry, which translates into experimental charging vehicle. The Mercedes-Benz Elf is an all-in-one mobile EV powerhouse that combines ultra-fast, traditional, inductive, and conductive charging, and it's based on the Mercedes V-Class people carrier and is equipped with 5 unique charging ports. It will act as a rolling test lab, promising to unlock faster and more convenient, more sustainable electric vehicle charging. The Elf features 2 fast charging systems, a standard combined CCS, and a heavy-duty megawatt charging system, or MCS. So you can charge this thing like a truck on the truck chargers. So yeah, if it's a mobile tanker, then yeah, you'd want to be able to boost a semi truck with the MCS off of it, and then why not charge it up as fast as you can too, since it's a corporate asset. You don't need hello baby, and you don't need it to be as longevity. I'm too quiet. I need to turn up my volume. Okay. Gig says I'm too quiet. Makato, how are you? What are you gonna say? You talking like me? You just touched the mic to your face? Yeah. You gonna say, oh, good burp. You gonna say hi? So my family says this baby doesn't look like me. Look at that. What? Okay. Anyway, here's me as a kid, baby. Here's my baby. My family says that she looks more like her mom. She looks like me. Yes, hello. Boop. She and her sister like this. And so that's why she did my face like that. Yeah. Say hi. Oh, you shy today? Normally she's trying to say something to the microphone. So anyway, the megawatt mobile charger, the Elf. For example, the concept AMG XX hit peak charging power of 1.41 megawatts during megawatt charging after its record-breaking run in the Nardo in August. Yes. Oh, wireless charging too. They did say that. Yes, EV really can power your home if it's one of these. Update. So pretty much every Chevy, and then select other options. NHTSA launches another investigation into Tesla's full self-driving after 58 crashes. Over the last year, Tesla faced its and lost its first wrongful death trial. Hi. Yes. But even in the trial, they admitted these people weren't using it correctly. Yeah. See what happens going forward. A cool new walking device does for electrified walking what e-bikes did for cycling. I could see it being useful like in a factory or for folks with a disability. I'm not sure unless you train further and harder like an e-bike does. I don't know. Also depends on the cost. Ferrari's rejecting fake engine noise for its first EV. Yes, thank you. Opts for authentic motor sound. Doesn't mean they can't accentuate that though, but awesome. Ferrari reveals the specs of its first all-electric car, the Electra. Electrica, over 1,000 horsepower and 330 miles of range. It's about daggone time, Ferrari. Come on in. Welcome to the fold. Hi, baby. Hello. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see what we got. Q2 of 2026. That's not too far out. That's cool. Look at that smile. All right, so the CEO assured everyone that the design of the vehicle is already completed. We're looking at 0 to 100 in 2.5 seconds. That's not bad. That's a little faster than my electric bus. Top speed of 310 kilometers per hour, which is what in metric or from metric to English, 310 kilometers. Is 192 miles per hour. Not bad. The power is greater than 1000 CV in boost mode. CV. What is CV? 1000 CV. Wait. The range is greater than 530 kilometers. Dimensions of weight. Oh, you're pulling my hair. She likes to pull hair. And that means I need a haircut if she can reach mine. A wheelbase of 2960 millimeters. A weight of around 2,300 kilograms. Weight distribution of 47% front, 53% rear. And it's fine if it's not 50-50, if it's also got rear or all-wheel drive. Power at the front axle is 210 kilowatts. Not terrible. Torque at the wheels, 3,500 newton meters. Torque at the engine. The engine. Is this another hybrid? I hope not. 140 newton meters in performance launch mode. Power density, 3.23 kilowatt hours per kilogram, and 93% efficiency. I'm thinking that means torque on the motor stand. I'm hoping so. Weight is 65 kilograms. 65 kilograms of what? The weight of the engine? The motor? The rear E-axle is 620 kilowatts. Okay, so right about where my system's at right now. So it's not as fast as a Plaid. Smoke is gonna smoke a Ferrari stock. Torque at the engine. Yeah, so they're definitely meaning the motor on the motor stand. 355 newton meters in performance launch mode. Power density is 4.8 kilowatt hours per kilogram and 93% efficiency. The engine revs is 25,000 geary a minute. 2550 RPM. Gross rotations a minute. I don't know what the geary is. Maximum inverter power is 600, greater than 600 kilowatts. Again, still less than the Plaid. Weight is 129 kilograms. The battery number of cells is going to be 210, 15 modules with 14 cells. So they're using the large format cells. This is probably not going to be as performant as the competition, who all use small cells. By competition, I mean the performance EVs. What do you have to say? Say what you need to say. Yeah. Do you want the headphones? You want headphones? No, you don't want the headphones? Okay. You don't have to wear the headphones. All right, so then we've got the tech behind Ferrari's first all-electric car. That's a nice looking battery pack. For the pack, the Ferrari has prioritized safety with a significant amount of energy absorption and redistribution around the modules. They explained the layout of the cells designed to maintain inertia or minimize inertia and lower the center of gravity. Placing them where possible behind the driver's seat, 85% of the weight of the modules is situated under the floor pan, while the remainder is located under the rear seat, a solution made possible to shorten the wheelbase and minimize inertia to maximize driving pleasure for all. Interesting. Ferrari's even making its own motors for the Electra. Okay. This will be fun to watch. And it'll probably be eye-watering in price. So we'll look at it more later. The GM unveils the Chevy Bolt. Same package, new battery, low 29K price. So if it's the same package, that might explain why it's a limited time deal. If LG is still involved, their contract may just straight up be finished. Yes. Want me to what? Footprints in the rain? Okay, I don't know why this is wet. Got a soldering kit. And the electric motor I needed for a project I'm working on. All right, so what I'm going to use this motor for, initially at least, I may make it detachable, is I'm going to use it on a filament winder for my 3D printer. And the other is just like flux and solder wire, a little soldering kit. Yeah, this is the right piece, so I can actually get started on this project today. Because I've got the motor box and the gear train cover and the motor mount right here. I think mine is a different handedness than the one that the guy had, unless it goes this way. No, I think even that way, mine's a different handedness, so I might have to redo this part. It's oily. It's oily. Fresh from China. Which is interesting because getting stuff from China has become harder than it used to be for almost no reason. So anyway, if it's using the same most everything, then it's probably got something to do with LG, I think. So GM has unveiled a new version of the Chevy Bolt. It's popular, affordable EV with upgraded battery and otherwise very similar package to its last iteration. So it's definitely not an EUV, although it said so. On the scene, special event. Just give me the changes, please. Other than the limited edition. But that wasn't the end of the model. After declaring the Bolt dead before ending production of it, GM said it would bring back the Ultium-based Chevy Bolt, called the Boltium, is what people were calling it. So, did they shove Ultium in the old Bolt's frame? That's interesting. And now it's finally time to unveil the offering, which we've had on hand as the Universal Studios. Meet the Bolt, same as old. The front face is slightly modified with the black line. Now we're getting more information on the interior and specs, juicy updates. Oh, is this a live stream? That would explain why the article is structured the way it is. 65 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery with cells supplied by CATL. So no, it's not the same LG thing. And LFP is good. You won't have the issues they had at all on the last one. It sounds like GM wants to start making LFP cells in the US. That's a wise move for the foreseeable future. Plus, it doesn't hurt to be able to make stuff at home, even if you don't typically do it. Bolt used LG cells previously. It was built by GM before Ultium. And this led the Bolt to be the only vehicle in GM's EV stable with different technology. And now it's the only Ultium on LFP, right? Not only does Bolt charge faster, it also has a new discharging capabilities, which makes sense because Ultium has that in the form of bidirectional charging. The new Bolt supports GM's Energy's VTH, vehicle to home products, which can offload power at 9.6 kilowatts. That's pretty darn good. So can the Bolt also charge at 9.6 kilowatts? What? What? You did what? You slipped? Are you okay? You swim? Slip. Slip and fall? Flip. Like flipped over? Like a monkey? Oh, okay. I don't know. 3-year-old speak. Further enabling these road trips is the Bolt Snack Sport. Yes. 255 miles of range. It's not bad. It's more than I've got. Which may be conservative. It's a bit more than 247 range. The outgoing EV, that's what I've got now, is 246, which is nice. And you can charge to 100% every night because it's LFP. Yeah, you can. But even LFP will last longer if you don't do that. Although in like Tesla's implementation, you must do it occasionally so that the BMS can get calibrated. I don't know about GM's. So I do think the Bolt UI will turn out okay. Update quick first drive impressions. Electric stake. I was hoping for more stats, like in a stats table, but we didn't get that. Oh well. The clever system taps your basement temps to cool your home, and now it can heat too. Oh, so geothermal with your basement. Interesting. New York-based Cool Down makes a thermal transfer system that moves naturally cool air from your basement into your living space while sending excess heat back down below to cool the home more efficiently. By dispersing heat into the ground, the cool down helps keep homes comfortable during the hot summer months and cuts electric bills in the process. I don't imagine this will be as efficient as a geothermal system, but it does seem like a cut rate geothermal system. The new smart control unit introduces a range of intelligent features that make the system more versatile and user-friendly. For days when comfort takes priority, Power Boost mode temporarily ramps up the cooling and dehumidification performance. Eco Boost mode maximizes efficiency by preventing the AC or heat pump from switching on. I mean, every little bit helps. I'm all about doing more with our HVAC because we are pretty lazy with our HVAC. Where are you going? Oh, that's what I thought. So like, I'm not going anywhere. Big concern in my area would be radon. Oh, good point. Yes, you do have to do radon tests if you have a basement, and or at least all the places I've lived with a basement. I highly recommend testing for it, even before even considering something like this, and also test for radon as the second leading cause of lung cancer. This is true. True, but you have if you have meaningful radon in your basement, you should already have an active negative pressure mitigation system running regardless of whether the basement is finished, and air circulation will disperse any remaining radon and keep these from becoming any hotspots. Hi. Yes, how can I help you? What's up? What do you want? Are you muscling me for the microphone? I feel you pulling on my headphones. Okay, moving on. We've got Nissan Leaf. Tesla's more affordable. Short Sky. Halo Disc. Okay, we're back. So let's go back to what I was on. The solar survey results. I can close that. So they asked about the solar credits, and I think the elimination will have a large effect because solar companies are no doubt charging for more because of the incentives. Yeah, I think that's a possibility. I've seen a lot of stuff I don't want to see in the industry. People just raising their prices because they know what their customers can do out of pocket. So I will go through the rest of these articles that I have pulled out because I don't want it to just be a read electric show, but that's basically what it was today, with commentary. But Madam Wiggles is telling me it's time to go. So I want to thank everybody for your time today. I want to thank you for coming through. I want to thank our channel members for your monetary contributions to help make this thing something that I could afford to put out every week, covering some of these hosting bills, the software services. I don't want to say new microphone, it's the same microphone I've had for 20 years, but the other equipment like the microphone interface and the now the camera interface, because it's all those in one. Oh, I didn't even check in a minute. I didn't even check the spaces. Anyway, I want to thank everybody, and with that, we'll catch you on the flip side. We'll catch you next week. Also, we've got a Tesla Life Express coming out tomorrow and Tesla Life Live on Wednesday. So we'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch you on the flip side.